Awesome. Mind walking us through a current or past deal?
Yeah, so we have kind of three pillars of our business. The first is our consolidation part of our business, where we buy, mom and pop owned facilities. They're typically smaller, typically are not state of the art facilities like you see nowadays going up. These are ripe for value add. So, half of the time that mom and pop owner is the one sitting behind the desk. They are the one that the tenants talk to every day. And then what happens? Naturally you become friends with your tenants. You start letting them slide if they don't make payments. You don't charge any late fees. You don't charge any lien fees. So that is one of the issues. The second thing is that their expense loads are super high. So, because it's the owner, maybe they have a $500 a month cable and internet package because they want to watch TV when there's no tenants in there. That's all going to the bottom line, and that's affecting their NOI in a negative manner. Sometimes they overstaff these facilities because they are not utilizing, proper technology to help them run more efficiently. So for a small facility, they may have 2 or 3 full-time employees when you can usually run these things either unmanned or half of one person, or depending on the size, if it isn't much larger, you can run them with just one full-time person. So in our industry, the two largest expenses are labor and then property taxes. So on the property tax side as well, a lot of these mom and pop operators don't know that they can contest their taxes. They can fight the county or the municipality to lower their property taxes if they're being, improperly built. Then on the flip side is the revenue management side. So sometimes, or most of the time, what we see is these mom and pop operators are not keeping up with market rents. They kind of have this rule of whatever your rent was when you first showed up, that's kind of what it will be for life until you move out. Whereas what we use is some of these very sophisticated tech stacks. They even use AI where they will check all of the competitor pricing on a 5 to 10 minute increment and adjust our pricing. They will check how often a keyword in Google is being typed in. If we see a large spike for self-storage in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and you see a lot of people searching for that, then it will automatically raise our online prices. It will also help us with existing customer rent increases. So for example, this software will go through our entire rent roll and say we'll score all of your customers from a 1 to a 10. Maybe 1 to 3s you don't raise the rent at all. 4 to 7 you raise the rent a little bit, maybe 10, $15. And then 8 to 10, these are the guys that they have their payments on auto pay with a Amex Platinum card. Their social media profiles show that they're traveling around the world. Most likely they're willing to absorb a larger rent increase, 20, 30, 40%, and really not even there's no peeps about it. They don't complain. So these are some of the things that a lot of these mom and pop operators are not doing, which allows for great value add opportunities for people like us. So that's kind of the first leg, where we buy these mom and pops and then we consolidate them into portfolios of 10 to 15 properties and sell them off. The second leg is our adaptive reuse leg, which is, we find big box retail stores, Kmart's, Walmart's, things that aren't self-storage, and then turn them into self-storage, because these locations are typically in great locations. So let's say Sears buildings, Sears used to be a huge company. They were always on kind of Main and Main. They were in shopping mall complexes. They were surrounded by dense residential, super high traffic counts. These are all the things we want to see for self-storage. So why build from the ground up when we can buy an existing shell and put storage inside that not only drops our timeline of construction, but it also drops our total construction cost on a per square foot basis. So that's, leg 2 of the stool. And then leg 3 is our ground up developments. These are our class A kind of flagship, state-of-the-art REIT grade facilities. 2, 3 stories, 100,000, 120,000 square feet. These are the ones that we sell one off to the publicly traded companies. This is what they want. Because they are REITs, they typically don't like to take development risk. They'd rather wait for you to build the property and then buy it off of you at some, either as early as certificate of occupancy or as late as full stabilization. And that's where you're going to get these large pops in valuation.